right. Paul, how are you, sir?
I'm all right, man. How's it going with you?
It's going great. First of all, fantastic movie. I love Bull. As far as revenge movies go, this is right up there for me. I love the character Bull. I love everything about this film. But I got to ask you first, where did the idea for this revenge thriller Bull come from?
Everyone asks, I get asked that a lot, and I'm like, don't know, I can't remember. No, it was, I think it was always just about thinking about what one would do to protect your son, or to do what you do for your children, basically, which obviously is completely unrealistic, because I wouldn't do all this. I don't think so for my kids. But yeah, that's how it came about. And I think that, whenever I write anything, I just come out with a little tiny bit and then think, okay, well, let's open it up and see what happens. But it's, listen, the fact that it's gone to America, man, aside from the fact that I loathe the poster so much, it's great that it's being seen by people over there.
Absolutely. Now, I love the tone and pacing of this film. It almost has this horror tone to it for me. What films kind of helped? What films did you draw inspiration from for Bull to form your cinematic language, if any at all?
Mate, the fact I would have to go and read what cinematic language meant. I'm not very good at stuff like that, but that's good. Yeah, I'm hopeless at stuff like that. I think for me, it was always, in terms of what films, I like films that are very all over the place. I like different kinds of movies for different days and so on. And I also try and really do my utmost not to sort of take too much from other films, because I'm like, actually, I've got an idea in my head and I feel comfortable with sort of how I want it to be. I think it's always low key and it's always menaced. You know what I mean? I like the idea of, building up the tension and stuff like that, and actually not having to do too much to have that tension. For example, with Bull and, with Norm and Bull's mum.
Sure.
And, and I used to be an actor, and, I think of just thinking about good actors. But when I write something, if you write something, I've had it in my head while I'm writing it. Do you know what I mean? So while I'm writing it, I'm thinking like this, oh man, that's going to be great. And, and that's what sort of the inspiration is, I guess. Listen, I like loads of movies, dude. I like loads of TV. I like lots of great stuff, and they're all different. So I think I couldn't really say I had an influence on anything, because otherwise it'd just be a massive collage of crap.
Right. I totally get that. Now, one thing I really loved about this film too was, or at least what I think is, there were a ton of practical effects, which made me feel so involved into what was going on. Can you talk to me about, how practical effects added to Bull?
I think that, do you know what? I think that practical effects a lot of the time for me really are, much more realistic, much more authentic, and in a way much more fun to do. And it's not to, listen, I love VFX movies. I think they're great, but I think I go back to they're very different films, but like The Thing, and and I remember as well The Omen, and one of the first sort of images I have is David Warner's head on the glass, and and it's kind of completely ridiculous, and you only see something for a very short while, but it feels real. Do you know what I mean? It feels, and even with The Thing, that's why The Thing works so well for me in terms of the effects being so sort of visceral, because I believed it was in the room.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that, VFX, I think they're great to use touching stuff up for things like that. But I think when it comes to small scale gruesomeness, it's always got to be prosthetics. But we had no money, so we had no molds of people's faces or anything like that. We just, basically did the best we could. And, there were times where I might look at a particular thing going, this looks terrible.
No, man,
and then
it was
go,
so subtle and so well done, man. I'm telling you, I loved it. I absolutely, I ate it
well,
up.
when we when we did the fingers.
Yeah, the fingers comes to mind.
Well, I mean, basically, we were like, everyone was like, "How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it?" And I was like, basically, just get them to do this, put them down, and I know I'll cut it like that, and it's so quick, and you just reverse it, but people just need to hear that, see that, see that, see that. 3 very quick cuts, and suddenly you're like, "Oh my god!" And I think, you know, if you could have had him blood going everywhere, and it'd just be fucking awful. Whereas I think it's much better to do something that's really quick and you know, because I was thinking that actually when you watch something that's visceral and rough and you wince and you like go like that, that's such a short reaction.
You know,
so it's impossible to sustain that feeling.
Right. You summed it up the best. It's like this. It's this subtleness that has a lot of impact, which I absolutely love. Now, you made Bull in the height of the pandemic, which kind of added to the creepy factor. And I can only imagine a scene like that at the fair that you guys had during that pandemic. Man. But can you talk to me about the challenges of shooting during the pandemic?
Well, it was just as things were starting to sort of come back slowly with filming, but we were really low budget. So, you know, when Dom, who produced it, I said, look, I want the abattoir, I want the burning caravan, and I want a fairground. Those are the 3 things I need. Everything else I can sort of work around. And anyway, so we managed to find this fair in Wales, which is quite far from where we were filming. But we could only like have 10 extras. So we couldn't have anyone in there. And it was the height of the pandemic. So there was no people at the fair anyway.
Right.
And that was hard. It's just, but then the thing is, we didn't have any money. So, you know, even if we would have had the access to lots of people, we still wouldn't have been able to use it because we didn't have anything. I think the thing about working in a pandemic is it was the first time I'd done it, and you just heard, can you sanitize your hands? So many times, you know, and you'd forget your mask and you do all this stuff. And, you know, but the bottom line is people hadn't worked.
Right.
You know, so people were just really keen to be a part of something again, you know, and so there's a different energy to that because people are really keen to be involved. And listen, you know, we're making films, we're making stuff, man, and that's just like a real treat. You know, it's a real gift to be able to do that because there's so many people who don't get to do it who really want to. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so listen, it was, you know, everyone moans, we all moan and gripe about how tough it is.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's great.
Absolutely. Look, I first of all, I got to commend you on that spinning ride scene. That scene was amazing. I think I watched it about 3 times just to get the tone of it and just to feel the scene. It was amazing. But I do have to ask you, you wrote and directed Bull, and Neil told me that you gave him a lot of freedom to really collaborate with him, bring what he brought as an actor to the table, with collaborating with him as for the character and what he brought to the table. Now, how much did his version of Bull align with your version of Bull that you wrote? And what did he bring to the table that wasn't on the page?
Well, I think that whenever, you know, the pages got you know, most pages have got so little on them,
right,
that you're relying on an actor to come and bring everything to it. Do you know what I mean? I think what Neil brought to it was a sense of reality. Yeah. So I believed him as a person because he was multi-layered. Yes, he was cold and stuff like that, but he also had more to him than that. You know, he told me what his backstory as Bull was, and I was like, that's so not what I had. However, as long as you do what I think is right, I don't care what you do. You know, I don't care what your backstory is. And he's such a really great actor, and he's so subtle that, you know, you hire someone to do your lines to be believable, right? And if they can be believable, then that's what I need.
Right.
So however they get to that point, all I need to do as a director and all the audience need to do is believe him, right? Believe what he says, believe that he's saying that he's telling the truth, you know, believe that he is a real thing. And I think however he does that, whether I pushed him or he's pushed him or whatever's happened, whether someone else comes out with an idea and says, this is better. If I think he's telling the truth, then then I'll buy it, and that's what you need from an actor.
Absolutely. Neil and David Heyman both knock it out of the park. The chemistry is amazing. Both are fantastic in this film. This film is brilliant. Paul, I want to say thank you for your time, man. I absolutely thoroughly.
Joseph, dude, you're probably the most positive person I've spoke to in a while. Part of me really would love it if there was a camera in your house, and as soon as it's cut down, you're like, God, what a piece of crap.
Nah, man, look, every single step of the way,
so awesome.
I was so involved in this film, man. I absolutely loved it. And a matter of fact, I watched it again last night with my girlfriend when she came home, and we were all on board, man. So fantastic job, Paul.
As a female, was she disgusted by it?
No, we loved it. We thought it was great.
Okay, I think you have to be a certain type of film fan to appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, all the stuff with Bold Kid and stuff like hit a little closer to home, mainly because we have a small kid here too.
Oh, nice. How old is your kid?
6.
Wow, good, man.
She didn't watch it with us, however. She did not watch it with us.
That's the sort of stuff of nightmares. That's a real fast forward job. Yeah, you've probably got about 5 minutes maximum of that film that is suitable for a child. Well, I'm very grateful for you to watch it and to chat about it. And thank you very much, man.
Absolutely,
I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait for everyone else to see it this Friday. Thank you so much for your time, Paul. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a really great day. Yeah.
You too. Take care.